Hi there, welcome back to Save with Crypto. My name is Save with Crypto from the YouTube channel Save with Crypto. I'm here today with two friends. One is my colleague and co-presenter of the live streams we do, who's called Maff. Maff is actually a Tap Global kind of user. He has some XTP like I do. He has a card like I do. But at the moment, we're not quite using them because there's no GBP loading, which is one of the subjects we're going to talk about in a moment. And we're talking to Roman. Roman is a guy who has close connections with Arsene Teresian, the CEO of Tap Global. And consequently, he's probably the best person to talk about what's going on, not insider knowledge, just what he knows from talking to Arsene. So I'll just say hello to Maff very briefly. Hi, Maff. How you doing?
Hello. Pretty good. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. And Roman, lovely to have you here again. Yeah, so tell us about the GBP loading. Has there been any progress?
Evening, gents. As far as I think progress, it's still going to be Q1 of this year. There's a lot of developments, a lot of back end work being done at the moment, and at the moment the app is being upgraded to the new search, the new engine. Sorry, not search engine, the new engine, which allows to scale with a bit more ease. So I think that should be completed today, as of today. But in terms of progress, everything I would expect from previous conversations is that Q1, all the compliance would have been done with the regulators and the risk profiles with their compliance partners. So I would say that Q1 is still on target for GBP loading, and hopefully third-party payments as well. Third-party payments in. I know that the third-party payments in is a lot to do with the risk profile, obviously, and anti-money laundering, etc. So that might take a little bit longer, but GBP loaded, I would have thought would come pretty soon in Q1.
That is certainly one thing I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
Matt?
That'd be pretty huge, I think. Yeah, because it would actually enable me to start being a user of the card. So I think my Tap card is set to expire in about a month, and I was kind of literally thinking, like, do I want to pay it's only like a few euros or something to get the replacement card? But that actually sounds like I would have a good reason to now to do that.
Yeah, I think it'll be huge from a point of the business in terms of volume of monies, in terms of revenues. Not so much, obviously. They only hold the money, but then there'll be the transaction fees from MasterCard, exchange fees, and I think really it will give people an answer to upgrading or getting to the next tier of the card. So it starts off at 0.5% as a base without any XTP tie-in, but then you can get up to 8% cashback, and I think that's going to be huge. Imagine being able to third-party payments in, GBP loading, and every purchase you get, is 8% if you've got the premium tier. And now is the time to be looking at upgrading, because obviously the price of XTP is pretty cheap, and I think it'll be huge in terms of revenue. I think it'll drive XTP eventually once there's a bit of PR and marketing around it, and I think the community need to do their job as well by pushing it, because it's in their own interest to show the benefits of the card and why you should hold XTP as one of the reasons of the utility of XTP.
Okay, that's great. Now, talking of buying XTP, one of the negative things we've experienced recently is the fact that the Probit exchange, which is, I believe, the only central exchange that lists XTP, that is actually closing down, isn't it? So do you know what the plans are to replace it or whatever?
Yeah, well, I think it's common knowledge that they need they needed another central exchange, and they were obviously working on one, but the current Probit expires, I think it's the end of January, which is no fault of TAP's. The MiCA rules have forced Probit out of UK and Europe, so it's nothing to do with TAP. Totally out of TAP's control again. The similar which happened before, but I think they were on their way with a second exchange anyway. I think, reading between the lines, it could be one of their existing exchange partners. Don't want to hold my hands up to it because it's not. I don't know that, but they do deal with Kraken for other cryptos. If it was Kraken, it would be amazing. But it could be one of the other ones which they also use. So the problem you've got with, I think I've documented this in a couple of Telegram chats and obviously the last podcast, is that the cost to go on tier 1 and tier 2 exchanges is hundreds of thousands. You can go on like a Maxi for probably up to 50 to 80,000 dollars.
Is that per year, or just to get listed?
No,
Basically,
as a listing fee.
Sure.
So if you're talking a tier 1 exchange, you're probably talking anything north of $600,000-700,000. I've been involved in projects which have looked at listing fees, and if you haven't got a market maker, you either got to have a bucket load of cash and coins to give them, or tokens to give the exchange. And a lot of these ones, especially the tier 2 ones, that's how they make their money. And it's not the straightforward as process in terms of legitimate trading. At the moment, you can see on CoinMarketCap that the TAP trading is genuine 24-hour trading. It's not washed. It's not inflated by an exchange. It's not inflated by anybody. It's genuine trading. But these exchanges, certain exchanges, will pump it to obviously get their money out of it, and then come back and say, well, we've run out of tokens now, can we have some more tokens? So it's a bit of a catch-22 situation.
So the market maker themselves would presumably make money on the trading, because they're obviously the ones who are moving the price.
If you employ if you employ a market maker, that's how it works. You give them X amount of tokens, and they would be a kick point then for hitting certain targets, and obviously you either fund them or they fund it with a different deal. So at the moment there's no market maker. It's purely just organic growth.
So is it just that they need to try and entice a market maker, or do they pay one? I'm not really sure how that particular system works.
As a market maker, you would employ a market maker, whether it's a token based deal, whether it's a half token, half cash, or liquidity. So somebody's got to provide the liquidity for the token to be market made. So that can be a combination of both. Without the listing fee. So say for example, they listed on I don't know, Binance. It could be $1 million plus you've got to pay a market maker, and some exchanges wouldn't take you without a market maker. So you've got to pay a market maker and provide a load of tokens. So it's not as straightforward as people think. Oh, just launch on an exchange. It takes a massive amount of cash to get good liquidity.
Yeah. So we sometimes heard them like in the TAP Telegram group, if they're sort of saying, oh, we're in talks with exchanges, but it's out of our hands a little bit. But it sounds like the thing that's really stalling that is exactly what you've been talking about there at this stage.
Well, I don't think anything is stalling this next exchange. I think they will by the time the Probit goes out of business or goes down, then I think there'll be a flip of the switch. But the other thing they could look at is a DEX, is providing liquidity on a DEX. But there's a lot more to it in the back end to do that side of things, and they've got to provide the liquidity. So the easiest way out is to influence the actual centralized exchange, because don't think I think there's a lot of speculation out there at the moment with this app update that there's going to be spot and leverage trading on the new app. Don't expect anything different with that, or order limits, etc., because the way that's set up is totally different when you integrate with a centralized exchange.
I think it's like because obviously they're on. You mentioned about decentralized. They're on Uniswap at the moment, aren't they? But I think the daily trading volume on there is something like $1,000, isn't it? It's or less even. It's
it went
definitely
up to
something.
About 5,000 last week in a 24-hour period, and you've seen the price pump up a bit. And the trading volume is not very good at all. But the other thing is going on a new exchange. People shouldn't expect the price to pump going on another exchange. If it was on, and I go back to a MEXC because I've had experience. If it goes on to a MEXC, there's a different community vibe within MEXC. But MEXC are driven by pumping the token, and being able to obviously pull their value out of it as well. But because it's going on a new exchange doesn't mean it's going to pump it. It's one of those things where if it was on Binance and there was a big PR thing, then yes, you'd expect it to pump. But going on, and I'm not saying it's going to go on Kraken, but something like that, it's just another token listing. If you look at the tokens that go on to come onto tap, do you see them pump? Exponentially, you don't. It's another token on.
It's a hype, isn't it? That needs to follow with it.
You've got to create
excitement.
You've got to create the story and take people on the journey, and I think that's where they've got to learn and take on board people's opinions and what's the utility of the token. That's the key. Create a story, take people on the journey, and that's anything in any business. That's how simple the marketing is.
Yeah, because they're potentially in a really good position, but obviously they are up against this issue that it's a small company, isn't it? Is it like 18 or 20 employees?
It varies. It varies.
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
But on that order of employees, and it's and obviously they're up against the likes of Crypto.com and so on, and so I don't envy them. They've got an uphill climb, but I think they can do it.
I know, 100%. I got full faith in us and the team, and I just think the GBP loading and third-party payments, I don't think anybody can anticipate what that is going to bring in terms of revenue, users, because it's just absolute no-brainer. What other card would give you up to 8% cash back on all your purchases?
Yeah, it's massive, isn't it? It's 8% in XTP, isn't it? But of course, they if they wanted to, I suppose they could then just immediately sell that.
No,
probably wouldn't advise it, but they could.
No, it's not. It's staked for a period of a year.
Okay, okay, yeah.
It is actually locked for 12 months. Yeah,
it's locked for 12 months.
Yeah, so it's on the positive side. It kind of forces you to think of it more as an investment. It's generating that more long-term wealth, isn't it? Really,
it's a longer term play, but nobody else out there is giving you 8% back, and it's. I just think I don't think the team realised how important and how integral to the business going forward it's going to be. It's going to be huge.
Yeah. Do you think maybe they're going to need to burn a whole bunch of the tokens? Because like I think I made a note of it. I think it's 10 billion total supply. I think of which maybe is it 1.2 or thereabouts of XTP are circulating at the moment. So, because that's kind of my worry about it. I mean, I absolutely love the 8%, the 8% side, and obviously that's tiered and so on. So that's the upper tier. But also, there's a worry that's going to dilute the
Yeah,
quite
so
unless you've got that really under control.
there's a couple of points there. Okay, so
Sure.
the actual rewards don't come out of off the exchange. Okay, so the rewards come out of the, say, let's call it 8 billion that's still locked. You know, it comes out of the treasury, right? So it doesn't come direct off an exchange. So it wouldn't affect the price of XTP straight away.
Yeah.
In terms of burns, there's two ways of looking at it. When they announce the revenue of the company and they announce, I don't know, a 60 million burn, for example, they could either burn it either out of treasury, or they could burn it off the tokens that are in supply, which would be obviously the better choice, or they could use, because that money's collected in cash in XTP fees, they could actually burn that. They could actually buy that off the exchange. So it would affect the market rate of the price. So I think that could be an option. When they announce the next burn, it might have more angle of what they're doing in terms of the burn. I agree. You know, the XTP that's locked is hanging over it, but I think once the company I don't know, it's not going to happen overnight. Once the company becomes profitable regularly, and like Q1 is up, 30-odd% on the previous financial year, which started in July. I think you'll probably see something happen with the XTP burns.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, one last thing there. I was just going to say. I don't think the tokenomics has changed, is it? So they've basically kept that the same, probably because they haven't had to change it in that sense.
No. So the tokenomics is at a stable. There's 10 billion 10 billion minted. There's about just under 2 billion in supply.
Sure.
Okay. So we should talk about the share price, because the last time we spoke, we were quite hopeful that the share price would increase on the Q4 results being released. Or was it Q3? I can't remember. But the results that were released.
End of year it was, yeah.
Okay, end of year results. And the kind of, it didn't quite work out so well, really, because I think the share price has dropped about 30% since the end of last year. Is that correct? If so, I mean, why did that happen?
I don't know. I think they were pretty gutted about the share price, dropping, even though revenues were up, the burn rate was down, and I don't think people have seen right through the burn rate being reduced. But probably you'll see a better in the next set of figures. I think the true burn rate reduction will show through. Obviously, there was that fine they had to pay, which was hanging over them, which was resolved from the Gibraltar Financial Services Commission. But yeah, no, I think people haven't really seen that revenues are up. They haven't seen that obviously Q1 this financial year is up 30%. It'd be interesting to see Q2 as well. I think it's really, really positive. They've got a handle on the burn rate, which will be shown through. You look at the figures. The burn rate's going to come down again, and I just think it's only it's a cheap share. It's a penny share. It could quite easily 5 or 6x. Once the next set of figures are out, easily. It's an absolute no-brainer, and I think the new marketing or the broker broker partner, they haven't really driven it yet. I think they would probably look to do something around the next set of probably Q2 results or forecasts, and probably you'll see it drive, because it is only going one way. Revenues are going up, burn rates coming down. It's not rocket science.
It is really weird to see the revenue going. I think the market size, or rather the customer base, is growing as well, isn't it? I think so.
Yeah, I think that could have been another negative as well, because year on year the customer base only went up. I would have said, don't quote me, but it didn't go over 400,000, and it was probably about 30 odd thousand additional users.
And, yeah.
You know, and that I was a little bit disappointed with that. It wasn't over 400,000, and then when you actually break the numbers down, I would be surprised, and we'll touch on this on actual active users. I would say was probably not even 10% actual users all the time.
Yeah,
that would be my feeling. It wouldn't even be that high.
Many of those are UK based, aren't they? I guess.
No,
the inactive ones. I mean.
Oh, possibly, yeah. There's a lot of European based.
Okay.
They've got on record saying that there's a lot of European based, and that's why they haven't pushed the GBP loading.
Yes.
But I think that could be going the other way, because obviously, if you think their average cost per user is probably about 8 to 10 euros to onboard somebody. So, and then you've got the price of the card to make the card. So that's why there's a charge for the card, because if you give 400,000 cards out free, well,
not going to work.
That's 4 million euros.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Plus the cost of acquisition. So, we have to be sensible. The level the business is at the moment. You're not saying that something like that won't come, but you just got to be realistic. Everything costs money, and they're trying to run a business.
Yeah, I mean that has to be something beneficial, like premium, like I suppose for new customers, to make them to justify spending money. So they're not just getting a card, which a MasterCard, which they might have kind of for free from their bank already. There's obviously the extra things that like what's in it for me, that sort of.
I totally agree. The premium and prestige, the two top tiers. If you're holding that amount of XTP and you've got it, I agree. You should have a free card, and it should be something special, because at the end of the day, I've got the top account, but the bottom line is it's the same card as everybody else's. I mean, it doesn't make a difference to me, but it would be, now the GBP loaders, and there could be a bit of a PR case with this now going forward. Once GBP loading starts, and you can push those top tiers where you have a different card, or a free card, etc., because they've got the XTP locked up, and they've had the money from it. So that's something that will be suggested.
Yeah, I think that would be a very good move, because at the moment, for example, I've got the I keep forgetting the name of it. It's the one before the top. It's the premium, isn't it? No, not premium. Is it premium or premier? I can't remember.
No, prestige is the top. I think you've got the
next one down.
Yeah.
Hang on, it's here. What's it called? It's called Platinum. Oh, okay. Yeah, Platinum. Okay, so actually I've just noticed, is this correct? Because that says there the XTP lockup required is £10,000. I'm sure that used to be 20,000.
No.
No, I dreamt it.
20,000 is the top one.
Oh no, that's right. Yeah, because I remember the price going over that last June for the amount I had. I thought, okay, I'll grab that tier while it's available, which is what I did. Anyway, so last June I got the platinum tier, and then last month my card ran out. And to be honest, I only used it in Spain in August. So I kind of contacted support and said, can I have a new card? And they said, yeah, that'll be €10. And I actually thought, well, come on, I've got like £10,000 worth of your token staked. I can't have a card for free. I think that would be a really nice thing. Because at the moment, I'm not going to bother renewing my card until we get the GBP loading. I know it's only a tenner, but it's just one of those little things that would make me think that's a nice company. That said, I did actually speak to a human, not speak, but I did chat to a human, which I thought customer support wise was actually pretty damn unique for these days. So that was impressive anyway. But yeah, I'd like it if these top tiers had a free card. I think that'd be really nice. I don't care if it's made of metal or granite or whatever. I don't care about that, but I would like it to be free.
Yeah. So just looking at that, so just to confirm, so the Essential, do you actually get a physical card for that one? You do? So, because that's kind of what I was thinking of. So like someone, when I say like premium, like, I mean, so someone who maybe found Tap on X, and they're convinced from Tap's X account that wow, this is a really professional company, sort of fintech company, and I could go far with them. I think this is really cutting edge, blah blah blah. So they get the Essential. I guess they get charged then the €8 to €10 or whatever to get the card to join.
Oh,
so I think it's yeah.
If I'm going to buy it, they damn well can.
Yeah. So I mean, it's very much just at that point when they're on the verge of saying like, do I hand over the dosh or not? Just like, what's going to drive them to go and do that? Do you know what I mean? So like in that sense, there needs to be something they're getting immediately from this.
Yeah,
that they're not necessarily getting from just their existing bank card, basically, or say if they've got a Curve card or something like that. Obviously, that does some just funky functionality, doesn't it, with going back in time and that sort of thing. But obviously, I'm not suggesting Tap does that, but there's like some USP that it would drive people to it.
No, you're right though, because even with the Essential card, I just worked it out actually. So if they're getting 0.5% cash back in locked XTP, it's locked for 12 months, they've actually got to spend £2,000 to break even on the £10 that the card cost.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's a start, but I mean, maybe XTP actually is that thing, and maybe that's. But they're working on it today.
But I do know a lot of these companies, like for example, Uphold, they had a problem where they issued a load of free cards and people never used them.
Yeah.
So they want to avoid that. So I understand that as well, really.
Oh yeah. I can totally understand it. It's just like what they offer in return. I mean, obviously, I'm saying that in lots of hypotheticals, but I guess we've got Roman right here to ask about it. But I mean, do you know if are they planning to sort of bolster up the Essential or get rid of it and just start on the Plus or anything like that? Really?
I think at the end of the day, we all got to take it where the company is. I think it will eventually position it as a fintech bank where you'll be able to do a lot of your financials, and as revenues help and come in, I think the product will be developed. I think we can't ask for everything at once.
No, of course, especially the size of the company.
The size of the company, it's common sense. I said I'd rather them be here in 10 years' time rather than try and put all the toys in the pram and not be able to push the pram around. Because
for sure.
I think,
So that's actually on their roadmap then to become like a challenger bank, essentially.
well, yeah, it's on the roadmap. Share dealing service, commodities. It's going to be similar to Revolut sort of
Yeah.
scenario. We've got to figure out a way of, and everybody can bring options to the table and suggesting, but we've got to figure a way out of getting more utility for XTP, in terms of other ecosystems, other benefits. For example, other crypto banks do partnerships with lounges, airport lounges, Spotify, etc. But that obviously costs money. But if there was a way of paying for it in XTP, and taking that off the market, and discounting it,
Yeah.
that would be be another utility.
Yeah.
Which would be huge.
I didn't realise that's not on there. So our airport lounges, are they part of the card tier?
No, it's not.
Currently?
They've got no partnerships as such like that at the moment, and it's not really a priority because obviously there's a cost to it. All they would benefit is the MasterCard fees. So if you paid for it through your MasterCard, then it would generate MasterCard fees and obviously holding your money in the bank. But I think as I said, we've got to be patient. It's been I've been involved from the start. It's been a long old road, from the initial fundraise, to get it to where it is. Peter Wall done well with getting it on AIM. Obviously that took money.
Yeah.
I think it's going in the right direction, but we just all got to be patient. And I get it that everybody wants to know, or wants XTP to pump, and we want the share price to pump. But I just reiterate, I'd rather us be here in 10 years' time and gradually grow, because it will. The vision, the app will develop, and this new engine now, which is being switched over today.
So it's a pricing engine, is that for the
it's
back end exchanges?
It's the back end engine for running the whole platform, basically. So it will make things.
Yeah.
It will make things quicker. Trades quicker. We'll be able to give more accurate pricing, I think, rather than obviously you see a lot of slippage because the engine will be working faster, and connecting to other exchanges quicker. So I think that's a positive, and it'll be able to onboard a lot more. I see a lot of messages in the Telegram chat. It's taken longer than expected. Well, things in technology,
development doesn't it? It always does, no matter the size of the team. I think
it's like download. You've got to download 390,000 users to a new database. It's just one of those things that takes time.
Yeah, there'll be some data scrubbing, I imagine, just tidying it up a bit as they go along with that as well. So, yeah.
Talking of the Telegram group, I know in the Telegram group, quite a lot of people criticise the X account for being not very good at communicating things, and also when it does, it's kind of a little bit childish. I mean, I also noticed here, I don't know. I find it hard that a company allows things to get published with typos. That's not how you spell appeared. But some of the things do look a little bit cringy, like this one here. How many times this happened to you? And
whoa. Okay, sorry. So they're dropping an F. Am I reading that right? They're dropping F-bombs in their.
Well, kind of, yeah. I mean, I just don't think this is. I don't think this is very good. I think they could really improve their X posts massively.
The only thing I would say about that, and it's been brought up and it's documented in the Telegram, and I've spoken about it. you have to get engaging with audiences. Okay, so how you do that is some controversial stuff, and some meaningful stuff.
Right.
I think that's the approach they've gone down. Typos, I'm guilty of things like that, but I think you can't keep just ramming XTP down people's throats. So what else are you going to tweet about? Right? Okay, so there's the market information. There's the information about the company. There's the information about XTP. So the engagement is key to driving the algorithm.
Right.
So I think whilst they seem a bit, immature sometimes, I think it probably gets good traction with the algorithm. And I think that's the way they've gone down. The other thing is TikTok. I spoke to Arson about TikTok, and TikTok for younger users. And my biggest bugbear is the coins that they bring on. We haven't been bringing on ISO coins. Right? That's my biggest issue, right? But that's down to the regulators, the compliance partners being allowed to signing them off. But they tend to bring these shit coins on, right? And it's like drives me mad. But that audience should be driven by TikTok. So
Yeah, completely. Yeah.
Because the shit coins are for the younger element who are probably looking for a quick, 50, 60 quid a week sort of scenario. So, TikTok needs to be addressed and put some content like that on TikTok. But with XTP, you're never going to ram it down people's throat every day of the week. Right? But you do need to get out there. What's the utility? What's the story? What's the narrative, etc., and put meaningful content showing the benefits of it, and then company updates, and then market updates. That's all we can ask at this stage. I think yeah, and I think the childish comments they do get engagement. They get we're talking about it, so there's a positive, isn't it?
Right, yeah.
So we've noticed it. So that's
touche. Yeah.
the brand driving people to the app.
Yeah. What's a pinned tweet on there at the moment? Just curious.
The pinned tweet.
Yeah. So what's the primary message that TAP is wanting to get out there? The thing they most want to say.
They haven't pinned it. The top there's nothing pinned.
Just a bit further down. Yeah. That.
We'll see.
Right there. Is that the pinned one? It's the one at the top anyway.
Yeah.
The one at the top is one app for money and crypto.
No, the first post is not pinned. See, it just says about the maintenance.
Yeah, that's what's happening today.
Okay. They probably want a pinned tweet, and they just like whatever the main thing is.
Yeah.
So they could post as many memes as you want to then, but at least the first thing people will see on there, the one that'll accrue the most engagement, the longer it's there, obviously, would be the primary message. Like the please open a TAP account, essentially.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not totally convinced, I must admit, by you go to the premium on the website, and they seem to have these like AI cowboys at the moment, which I don't think you want to put your finance in the hands of cowboys, do you?
Perhaps America's coming.
Okay. That's a pretty good. Oh yeah, definitely. There's a cactus there, so it must be. But
Between lines,
I don't know. It seems a bit. I don't know. Some bits of it are, I must admit, are a little bit cringy. It's a bit like, I don't know. I'm not sure how well the website works. Well, the navigation doesn't seem to sort of do what it's supposed to. But anyway, I guess it's all a work in progress. They changed the homepage as well. It seems to be, well, I don't know. doesn't seem to work as well as it did anyway. So is this smart router thing? Is that what they've been doing today? Is that
It's part of it, yeah. It'd be
okay?
part of it, in the back end, go into the best exchange.
Right.
Best
That's quite a big banner there, isn't it?
I was going to say, is the style sheet gone wrong or something?
I don't know. It looks like it. Yeah, I definitely think there's work to be done on the website. Anyway,
Yeah.
that would be there. That would be there to meet the regulators.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, but
Smaller font.
yeah, smaller font. I'm sure they don't demand it to be in 24 point Times Roman. Anyway, excellent.
Yeah. And not intending to be too critical. Really, it's just we're obviously kind of going at this because we want it to succeed.
Yeah,
as a thing. Just it's that opportunity, isn't it, to sort of mention all these things. Really,
I'm literally looking at it. I mean, part of my normal work I do is I help people's websites rank in Google. So I'm always looking for those like quick fixes. Like things you can do that make a website perform better and also give a better user experience and just like a quick win really. And that sort of thing is something you could fix straight away, and it would take like half an hour maximum, and you'd have a much better looking website. I just think I just guess the team is really, really super small, and there's nobody doing this at the moment. And maybe they came in and updated that to 2026 and then didn't notice that a few things weren't quite right. Overall, I mean, there are a lot of things that could be improved easily, I think. So that's one thing I'd like to see anyway, is just general, the whole thing just been a little bit more slick. Same with the app really, because the app is a bit funny. I noticed they changed the fonts on the app a while ago, and they've gone to a sort of more traditional sort of Times Roman. Yeah, that's an interesting choice. I'm not sure how popular that was.
Yeah, I think you'll see a lot of tweaks with the app over the next 6 to 9 months. There's the earn feature that's coming out as well, which is being in beta testing. That's another positive, because
Okay.
got to get that past the regulators. I think the first quarter of this year will be quite positive, quite telling, with where the direction's going for 2026. It's a lot more positive than it was this time last year.
Yeah, definitely get that impression. I mean, it sounds like there are things that you know about for Q1 that maybe you're not in a position to tell us about at the moment. Is that would that be safe to say?
Everything's just go back to the GBP loading, third party payments, the earn feature, the new exchange. That's 4 huge things that's going to happen.
Yeah.
That's huge, and then that's without obviously the app develop, more tokens coming on, and it just ever evolving. This new engine going live. That's been in test mode for probably 6 to 9 months. In the background, so that will allow it to scale.
Yeah. Is that something that they can license out as well? So if they
with the back end engine,
yeah,
I wouldn't have thought so, because
it's like a white label sort of thing. Or...
No, I wouldn't. The only thing they white label is the card as a service.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought there'd be too much code which is specific to tap. You mean
it's quite bespoke.
Yeah, I would have thought so.
Yeah, to be honest, that's probably allowed them to actually get it close to release as well. Otherwise, because if they're building a more general purpose thing, it'd probably be another 10 years.
Yeah, well, and they want something unique as well, and their security is pretty good with it as well. I mean, they are very, very security conscious.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty important.
Sometimes
So do they actually have customers for the white label card at the moment?
They had one company, but for the life of me, I can't think of what it was called. Obviously, they've got the Bitcoin Treasury as a service as well, where they hold people's companies' Bitcoin,
Okay.
and they started that last November, I think it was.
Yeah.
So I think what we'll go back to the company is, and we got detached from XTP, is that the company makes money, XTP gets burnt or bought off the market. So
Yeah.
that the more money the company makes, the more burn in terms of XTP, the more revenue it has for marketing. But they're never going to go down the, and I was in a online crypto summit before Christmas, and KOLs, influencers, and there was an influencer agent on the call, and they've seen a huge downturn. These KOLs, one because obviously the costs that they were charging to push people's tokens, and two, obviously a lot of the KOLs are just in it for one reason, which don't blame them, but to pump the token and pull their money out. And these horrendous pump and dump schemes. So I don't think you'll see TAP investing in highly paid KOLs.
No.
And obviously they did the TMG thing where they sponsored them, etc. But I think they just want people who want to come on the journey long term, believe in the product, believe in the platform, believe in the team, and the benefits will come with that. And as a community, we all need to take that on board. And
Yeah.
I get the price. People are just interested in the price, and their investment is down. But anybody looking into the socials just will be going, well, this community needs to back its ideas up because you need to pump your own bags.
Yeah. It's almost like or it sounds like it's trying to shut out, not shut out, but to sort of shake out the 100x, coin crowd in a way, because maybe people are more interested in sort of sustainable growth, and they'll make money from the token over time, that kind of thing, rather than everyone's in it for the pump and dump.
XTP could quite easily 100x.
Oh, I well believe it. I mean, to be honest, I hope it does. I'm probably one of the ones who needs to be shaken out.
It could quite easily 100, 200x. And then in the next year, 18 months, it could quite easily do that.
Yeah. Probably after September, October, everything will probably bottom out at that point, and then in that climb back up into the next bull market.
The biggest issue there is that there's not enough liquidity, and it will come, but it has to be organic at the moment.
Okay, so this is all sounding very, very positive. So at the moment, XTP and TAP Global are being used in Europe quite extensively. We're hoping for the GBP stuff in obviously for the UK in Q1. A lot of functions people have been asking about are things like the NFC, the actual Google Pay type thing, so you can actually tap with your TAP card. Do you know if there's any progress about that?
I don't think that is a priority at the moment, due to obviously the integration costs, where obviously there's a bit of dev work, and I think there must be a fee with Google Pay and Apple Pay. So I don't think that may come in 2026, but
Okay.
I don't think that due to it being a cost, I don't think it's a priority at the moment.
Okay, well, that's fair enough. Yeah. So geographically, then, I know in the past they've talked about possibilities of like the US, Latin America, all that kind of thing. Do you know if there's anything more happening that way?
I think you'll probably get Latin America and Australasia before you get a full-blown America, because Americans can trade XTP at the moment on Uniswap, but the app is still requiring a full-blown banking partner in the US. With this new Clarity Act in America coming through, possibly that's going to change how the adoption in America. Zero Hash with their partners hopefully will drive it forward, further forward. But Tap did have a banking partner set up in America until just prior to Trump getting in. And then that was all kiboshed with the obviously American Biden administration firmly against the crypto development in the US. But I think, that's another huge game changer. That's why I think it could 100x quite easily. If we get a bit of a break with the American market, it'd be massive. It'd be huge. But they're still working on it, I believe. But I think they just got to get Europe, UK. But I think the quicker wins will probably be Australasia, maybe Asia, and Latin America before the US.
Okay.
So just confirm that. So they're currently not in the American market. Is that right?
They put a teaser out there prior to thinking that they were going to launch, but the banking partner pulled out.
Okay, so I remember seeing the teaser, but I'd lost track of what happened after.
XTP is only available via Uniswap. They got no banking partner out there at the moment for the card.
So that's going to need coding and things, isn't it? To
link
it all up, I guess.
Yeah. I would have thought it'd be a simple API or something like that. But
Should
they're going to banking partner at the moment, and Zero Hash has to sign it off as like their in the UK they use Archax, but I think Zero Hash is their partner in America. But I don't think it's it's not a Q2 or Q3 sort of scenario. I don't think so.
So possible 2027.
Yeah,
like start of 2027. That kind of timescale.
Yeah,
anyway.
possibly.
Okay.
So I mean, it gives the market, a direction to grow in, doesn't it? So that it's saying there can be growth with these other regions during this year, and then there's still something big to happen next year as well.
Yeah.
I suppose in a way that if XTP was to appear on other different exchanges, then that's going to generate some interest, I think, in the way that people will be thinking, well, what does it do? So I don't know if that would be a catalyst for getting it out into the world more. And I don't know. I mean, there's obviously a big audience somewhere. Besides
co-promotion, doesn't it? It does come with co-promotion, because if you've got to go back to what I said earlier on, you've got to take people on the journey, create the story, and then co-promote that. So if the narrative works in the UK and Europe, then it'll work anywhere, wouldn't it? So the exchange, whatever exchange it goes on, would be silly not to help co-promote that, because it'll be generating fees through their platform. So I think time will tell. With it, definitely time will tell.
Okay. So the plan is buy loads of XTP, buy loads of Tap shares, and wait a few months.
I wouldn't say months, but I would say as the world and crypto is evolving in 2026, I'm sure XTP and the Tap share price will do as well. I just hope everybody finds this informative and helpful, and it's not financial advice, but I think Tap's in a good place. I know people are frustrated. I get frustrated, and I put across, believe it or not, I put across some of your feelings when I do have a catch up with the guys at Tap.
Okay.
And it doesn't fall on deaf ears, but let's stay positive. I'm convinced it will turn around and be a good investment. Whilst I've been in it for 5-6 years now. When I 2018, 19, and so I'm in it for the long haul. I'm a big XTP and shareholder, but it's in all our interests to co-promote and push the positives of it, and I'm sure we'll get there.
Okay, fantastic. Right, if anyone has any questions, then you will find me and Roman in the XTP Telegram group. You can also find me and Maff on live streams pretty much every weekday at 12 o'clock midday UTC. We also have a Discord as well, which there'll be details for in the description down below. So thank you very much, Roman. Thank you very much, Maff. It's been brilliant talking to you. I look forward to doing this again if we can very soon.
No problem, and we'll see if we can get the main man on at some point.
That would be totally amazing.
Okay.
Thanks very much. Appreciate your time.
All right. Thanks, guys. Good night. Bye.
Cheers. Bye.
Okay, so thank you very much for watching this video, and congratulations on getting this far. Can you do us a massive favour by giving the video a big fat like and making sure you are subscribed and you have got the notifications turned on. If you've got any questions, leave them in the comments down below and we will get back to you, I promise. Now, it's really important that this video gets shared and watched a lot. So if you've got anybody who is interested in TAP, anybody who would like to speculate on XTP, for example, or even just fancy having a card where they get 8% cash back, then please do share this video with them. And hopefully next time we'll be able to have Arson on the call as well, which would be really amazing. I would really like that. But I think the important thing is as many people watch this video as possible. So I will say this, and I really mean it this time. Above all, tell your friends.